Some fruits are hand-picked, but plums, sometimes they're shaken off trees by giant machines. On purpose. I made this video because plums are one of the most overlooked fruits in our kitchens, but behind them is an entire farming system built on precision patience and a little bit of brute force. In California, where nearly 90% of U.S. plums are grown, farmers use massive tree shakers to harvest prunes and hand-pick the softer varieties for fresh sale. But before that, each tree takes 4 years just to mature, and every spring, millions of bees are flown in just to pollinate the blossoms. A cold snap or a late frost, it could ruin an entire year's work. If you're still here, drop me a purple emoji or just a dot in the comments. I just want to know who actually makes it past the intro with me. Because what you're about to see isn't just about plums. It's about timing technology and the people behind a fruit we rarely think twice about. And if you stick around to the end, I'll show you how cranberry farmers harvest by literally flooding their farms like lakes. Let's get started. Have you ever stood in a sun-drenched orchard in the middle of California and watched as a tree full of ripe purple plums was shaken by a machine so powerful that the fruit rains down like a gentle purple storm? If not, you're about to. Welcome to the second chapter in our fruit journey. Last time we explored how peaches are grown, picked, and processed across the U.S. Today we head further into California's central orchards to uncover the journey of one of the most overlooked yet fascinating fruits, the plum. Let's start with a fact that surprises most people. Nearly 90% of all plums grown in the United States come from California. That's not an accident. The state's Mediterranean climate, warm, dry summers, and cool, moist winters creates the perfect conditions for plum cultivation. Add in rich, well-drained soil access to irrigation from the Sierra Nevada snowmelt, and generations of experience, and you have the ideal plum paradise. But it's not just weather and soil, it's people too. Meet Javier, a second-generation plum grower in Tulare County. His family has tended the same orchard for over 40 years. We don't just grow fruit, he tells us. We grow timing, precision, and patience. Plums are planted in the fall, usually as bare root saplings. The idea is simple. Let the roots settle in before spring arrives. But the wait is long. It takes about 4 years before a plum tree yields a proper harvest. In that time, the grower prunes each tree annually to shape the canopy, prevent disease, and encourage airflow and sunlight. Each decision, from how much to water to which branches to cut, impacts the future fruit. Spring is a breathtaking season in a plum orchard. Trees explode in a canopy of white blossoms, attracting millions of bees brought in by rented hives. These bees, like unseen workers, pollinate each flower. It's this moment, fragile and fleeting, that determines whether or not there will be fruit. But nature isn't always gentle. In 2025, a cold snap in early March wiped out up to 20% of blossoms in some parts of the Central Valley. It was a stark reminder farming is never guaranteed. By midsummer, the plums begin to ripen. Their skins turn from pale green to deep red or purple, depending on the variety. Some are picked by hand, especially those meant for fresh sale. These workers wear gloves, long sleeves, and shoulder bags, harvesting carefully to avoid bruising. Others, those destined to become dried plums or prunes, are harvested mechanically. Massive tree-shaking machines grip the trunk and shake with just the right force. Plums fall into a canvas catchment below, then get funneled onto conveyor belts. It's oddly poetic brute force meets delicate fruit. The next stop, processing. At the facility, plums are washed, sorted, and graded. Those meant for fresh sale are cooled immediately to preserve texture and flavor, then packed and shipped often within 24 hours of harvest. Others head to drying tunnels where warm air circulates slowly, drawing out moisture without cooking the fruit. This is how prunes are born, chewy, sweet, shelf-stable. Did you know the U.S. produced around 390,000 tons of plums in 2024? In 2025, that number dipped slightly due to weather, but the demand for dried plums, especially in international markets like Japan, South Korea, and Germany, kept the industry stable. Still, there's a perception problem. Ask most people to name their favorite fruit, and plums rarely make the list. They're not as iconic as apples, not as snackable as grapes. But in terms of nutrition, high-fiber antioxidants, low glycemic index plums quietly punch above their weight. And for growers like Javier, they represent more than profit. A good plum is about balance, he says. Not too sweet, not too sour. Just enough give when you press your thumb into the skin. It's a fruit that rewards attention. So the next time you walk past plums in the produce aisle, pause, pick one up, press gently. Think about the soil, the sun, the storm of bees, and the people who shook a tree so you could taste summer. In our next video, we'll go from dry orchards to wet bogs and discover why cranberry farmers flood their entire fields just to harvest these little red berries. It's one of the most unusual and satisfying harvests you'll ever see. Stick around.